Hi, so I think we will be ready to start in 2 minutes. All right, I think we're ready to start here. Hello everyone. Welcome to another interesting workshop of IBC 2.0 Continuum by IBC Media. Now, IBC 2.0 is the second edition of a massive 5-year agenda. We are enabling the largest blockchain ecosystem initiative in India. Today, we have Mr. Makar with us, who will be taking us through a very unique concept of Web3 based smart home instance with device interaction via the Robonomics app. Now, as you already know, Polkadot is our headline sponsor, and together we are hosting the IBC Hackathon. Now, in case you haven't registered for the challenge yet, then please check out the link in the chat box. I'll be putting the link here, and please register yourself. Now, let me talk about one very important tool which is quintessential for the hackathon, and it is Discord. Now, it helps you connect with mentors, it can help you connect with fellow participants and the community. I have my colleague Deepak with me today, who will brief us on how to set up Discord and how it works. Now, over to you, Deepak. Okay, looks like yes. I think you
Hello,
can
can you
unmute.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Hi, thank you, Dhruv. Hi, Makar. So I'll just take a few minutes, not even a few minutes, I'll just take about a minute and quickly show everyone how to join Discord if they have not joined already. As you can see my screen, Dhruv, is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible. Yes.
Okay, great. So guys, we have been doing this for quite a lot of time, and the reason for before every workshop I and Dhruv speak about Discord for a few seconds. The reason is that joining Discord is extremely important because that gives you the opportunity to seek technical help whenever you are stuck, because this competition is going to get tough, and that's why we are conducting these workshops for your benefit. And at the same time, ensure that you join the Discord channel where you will be able to seek and get help from technical experts from each hackathon track. So it's extremely simple. You just go and Google Discord, and you go to the website. If you have the account, that's great. If you don't have the account, then just create an account like you do on any platform. It's extremely simple. It's free. There's no charges involved. It gives you the benefit of doing voice chats, video calls, chatting just like in WhatsApp, and a lot of other benefits, which is why we choose Discord as a platform for communicating with all our participants. So as you can see, I just opened Discord over here, and and this is a test account that I've created just to show how you can join the Discord server. So when you create an account, you land. This is a bot. This is a I mean, you can avoid this, but you'll get an empty screen where you don't have anything. So the way you create friends or follow accounts on, for example, on Facebook, you add friends, and on Twitter, you follow accounts. Similarly, on Discord, what you do is basically you add a server. So in this case, I'll just go to the chat box of the Zoom call, and I'll copy the Discord invite link. That'll be helping me to join this server. So for example, what I'll do is I'll just click on add a server. I'll go click on join a server, then I'll paste the link. And that's about it. And your journey on the Discord of IBC begins. So one important thing that you would want to do is right away go and verify yourself. The reason why verifying is important, because there are a lot of bots, and it helps us in knowing and confirming that you're not a bot and avoids us from any kind of malpractices. So I'll just go click over here and verify myself. And what happens is I get access to a bunch of channels over here, if you can see on the left side. So like Knowledge Center, you get information about all the workshops. Then you have the tracks, you have the Polkadot track, you have the Robonomics track, you have the IBC track. You go check out the meet the mentor section and seek help whenever you want for any of the tracks over here. So I would like to repeat it once again that it's extremely crucial, and it will be very helpful to you to join the Discord server. And I think you'll enjoy it more than anything else. True. I think if the screen was visible, then I think that's about it. And I wish everyone all the best. Once again, welcome, Makar. I'll stop my screen and please start.
All right. So thank you so much, Deepak, for explaining the process in such detail. So make sure you join our Discord. The link is in the chat box. Now, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce today's speaker. So we have Mr. Makar with us here today. Makar is a robotics engineer with years of experience in Python and Linux systems. He's the engineer of technical department in the Robonomics project. Now, Makar works with Polkadot and Ethereum blockchains. He has designed applications and examples in a cryptocurrency startup project with 200 plus contributions to GitHub. Now, with that said, I'll hand it to you.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Great to have you.
Let's start. I will share. Okay. So, do you see the presentation?
Yes, the screen is visible, yes.
Good. So, hello everyone again, and let's start. As already said, my name is Makar Cherniaev, and I am an engineer in Robonomics network. Today's topic is smart home on Web3 cloud. But before I start the speech, I want to say a few things about Robonomics. We are working on the various approaches to connect cyber-physical and IoT devices to Web3. Recently, we have got a parachain slot in Kusama, and it allows us to build those incredible things that I'm going to talk about today. Okay, let's start from the beginning, and I mentioned that in one day, I wake up and decide, all right, I'm going to build my smart home. What I'm going to do? The first thing, we will go into the internet and type something like buy smart devices IoT or similar. And the majority of the options would be from Xiaomi and Akara vendors. Actually, the same vendor, but you can connect Akara sensors to the Xiaomi app and vice versa. So the most easiest thing to start with smart home is to buy a startup kit, which includes gateway, humidity sensors, temperature sensors, water leak detector, motion sensor, and probably some more. It depends from kit to kit. So from the customer side, I just buy a kit, set up the gateway, connect all sensors to it, download app to my smartphone, and that's it. Not really impressive, but I have my own smart home infrastructure. But let's look from the different side. As an engineer, I look at this in the following way. Most of the sensors are connected via Zigbee protocol. Sensors are low-powered devices, and they cannot perform a lot of communication. So here we need a gateway. The purpose of the gateway is to collect data from the sensors or send commands to sensors and devices. Okay, sensors with gateway work fine, but now we need to somehow interact with them. when we are out of home or check the status of sensors where inside the home. So the typical schema is sensors are connected to gateway. That the gateway is connected to a router, which provides an internet connection. Then all your data is transferred to a server. Also, you log into the app in your smartphone and it's connected to the same server. It means that you don't actually interact with your sensor, but rather interact with the cloud. I think you can see what's the problem with this approach. Since you link it to the server, all the smart home things become useless when the server is shut down for one reason or another. And sorry, and even more, to interact with your local sensor when you're at home, you still need an internet connection because sensors are connected to the cloud and your mobile app to interact with clouds, not with sensors. Okay, let's have a look at the cloud providers right now in the market. The most popular ones is AWS IoT, Azure IoT, Bosch IoT, and Google Cloud. Probably I missed someone, but they are the most popular ones. All of them suggest you the following scenario. Data from sensors via gateway is transferred to the cloud providers. In the cloud, you have a lot of services and it's pretty easy to build your application at top of these providers. Obviously, your data is encrypted and clouds have a perfect secure. But the important thing is that this architecture lost idea of confidentiality. Again, one single point where you collect all data about your home. And those providers could analyze your data. Maybe not even with your ID, but with your shadows or your footprints, with everything that you do with your home. Analyze this data to sell something to you or build a better product or do something else. And here we come back to the idea that you don't control your data and what you share. Okay, so is there a way to avoid corporations? Happily, yes. We can decline using these clouds and instead we can set up the cloud infrastructure outside locally in our home. These projects will help you to build your own infrastructure like OpenHub, Majordomo, and Home Assistant. I believe there are some more, but we as Robonomics team pick Home Assistant since it's an open source project and we like open source. It has a large community, many supported devices and architectures to work on. So Home Assistant is a good choice for your home. How it works? You still need sensor and hub, but instead of using the third-party cloud, you buy a single board computer and set up servers locally. Home Assistant gathers information from sensors and put it in a nice dashboard, also giving you an ability to control devices. Yes, there are some disadvantages. You should know that how to set up your server and how to set up Home Assistant instance or OpenHub or similar. It requires a little bit more understanding of how things works. But the obvious benefits from this is that all your data stay home. Good. We have solved half of the problem. We don't send data to the clouds. But what if we decide to control our home remotely? Because the purpose of smart home is control it remotely, right? And get data from it. But setting up Home Assistant remotely or setting up public IP at your home is even more complicated, to be honest. So before I introduce you a solution that we provide, let's go back to the history. Where did all this begin? There was a Soviet mathematician and scientist, Viktor Glishkov, who proposed the information system OGAS. This information system was supposed to collect data from manufacturers and industries. The purpose of the system was to improve a national planning system. So even then, about 50 years ago, people understood that there are many data outside, many data of the structures, and we can use this data to analyze and improve planning systems. If you know the history of Soviet Union, Soviet Union have a planning system. Every 5 years, they build a plan to the next 5 years. So now we would say that Viktor Grushkov started to build IIT system that would collect data from industries and provide this raw data to analyze to make better planning decision. Also, it's also known that Coca-Cola vending machine were connected to ARPANET to collect telemetry and transmit the resources that are left in the vending machines. So the idea to collect data from small devices to control the workflow or living flow, it's not new. And now we have a numerous amount of devices and a decent amount of protocols to interact with them, such as Zigbee, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, LoRa. It depends on the environment, it depends on our cases, but this protocol are really well known and most of the devices support at least one of them. Okay, let's go back to our previous architecture, but now we're thinking about confidentiality. We're thinking about how to get rid from the cloud providers and how to get rid this centralized approach. The previous way was to connect all sensors to the appropriate gateway, which automatically send data to the vendor providers. The other solution is to get an open source SLS gateway, which works with the famous protocols. Combine it with the single board computer or PC server locally that would run Home Assistant instance. We still need an internet connection because we talk about remote control. And still, we need to solve the issue with remote access. For these terms, we suggest you to use Robonomics network. Actually, Robonomics network specifically, but Web3 in general. So what is the help from the Web3? Web3 gives you the solution for a single point of the fail. It's really easy to imagine how to shut down a single server, but can you imagine how to shut down the entire Polkadot ecosystem or entire Ethereum network or the network of the blockchain in general? When we deal with peer-to-peer connections, when we deal with decentralized technologies, it requires a lot of efforts to shut down the whole network. Also, as I've mentioned before, cloud providers are able to sell your data or to use it inside analytics service. When we use Web3 technologies, all the control is in our hands because we can encrypt the data with our private keys, and until we have our private keys, secure is our hands. We decide what data we share and with whom, and we can be sure that our data doesn't leak to anyone. Everyone would see that some data is transmitted, but nobody will have the ability to decrypt it. And even if one node is not reachable, we can easily connect to another one and continue working with the app. Okay, let's talk specifically about Robonomics. Robonomics network for the last few years is building an open source platform to connect IoT devices and to work with your IoT devices. Since we got a Kusama parachain, it became really efficient in terms of transactions. There are much more transactions than in Ethereum network, and they are much cheaper than smart contracts in Ethereum network. In Robonomics and Kusama, we offer at least two useful functions for your smart home. The first one is data log. It provides you a way to store your telemetry in blockchain. The second one is launch transactions. Launch allows you to switch on and off your device. Also, we can store the wall shadow or the whole digital twin of your home in the blockchain. For this purpose, we have a digital twin model. It allows you to create a structure of your devices and send telemetry of each devices to its topic, and the whole scheme will be saved in the blockchain. Okay. One last thing I would mention is that the only way to interact with blockchain is to send transaction, and for every transaction we will pay some fee, right? It's the general purpose of the blockchain. But in the Robonomics network, we introduce a subscription. So subscription is blockchain. The subscription is actually a token that allows you to send some amount of transaction with no fee. Robonomics network reserves some amount transaction in every block, data privilege for the users who have a subscription token. In general, it gives you the opportunity to work with blockchain the way you work with the cloud providers. So with cloud providers, you pay for the subscription every month, and it's pretty straightforward. Subscription is in blockchain is a new thing. It does sound weird, but we have them. Now we have a few subscription available, and all you need is to just obtain a token, activate it, and from this moment, for months, you have one transaction per block for your smart home. It's more than enough to send telemetry. It's enough to send large transactions, and you don't need to think about token rate and fees in blockchain because you have subscription. Okay, thank you for listening. This is end of theory part. Here you can find some useful links to our Robonomics network, to Discord channel. You can join in and see the latest news and talk with community or maintainers and the Robonomics wiki. And now I want to show you some use cases and demos which I prepared today. Okay, first demo will be about data log telemetry, which I talked. For this, we go to Robonomics, the app, DAP. Go to the service, and here you see smartphone telemetry. In Robonomics network, we decide to create that you need two accounts to control your smart home. The first account will be account who have a subscription. So I will check this. It's easy to find it. Let's owner. Let's say it's the owner. Also, we need the second one, who is controller or admin. We need two accounts to secure ideas, because you really don't want to lose access to your subscription. You buy to the first account and don't use this account anywhere. Don't use its private key. And all transactions you made from the second account, who is controller. So give me a second. As I said, all transactions is encrypted. So to get telemetry right now, I need to write a seed phrase and copy it here. Just give me a second to copy it and insert. So after insert my seed phrase from the admin account, a few words, we see that we have telemetry. In Robonomics team, everything that we build, we use in our team, and now I want to show you the telemetry from our office in St. Petersburg. So as you see, we have default is about 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes we have the telemetry. So let's take someone. For example, we press download. Now the developer find a PFS hash in the blockchain and download file with this hash. In this file, you have all telemetry about your home, office, or something else. This file is encrypted. That's why we need to insert a seed phrase to decrypt it. And as you see, we see all telemetry of our office. It's about Windows, sensors, something else, weather statistic, so all sensor and all devices which you have at your home, and you can download to the other telemetry. So this is first demo, and now I want to show you the other one, which show the launch transactions, and this demo can do anyone. So I will stop for a second the sharing and open the other browser. And you can do this demo with me. I will wait some time to wait if someone to try the same. Okay, let's share the other Google, just to show you that it's a new browser. It's clean. I don't have anything here. And again, we go to Robonomics, the app. As I said, you can do right now with me. Go to the service, to the Lights Apps demo. And here you see the stream, this stream in our other office. And now we will control these lights. Actually, we will change the color of the light. So first of all, we need to connect an account. The easiest way is install Polka.js. Let's download it for Chrome. It's not take some seconds. Please, if you do it with me right now, type something in the chat or write plus when you've done some part of because I will wait about a minute in every part of this demo. Okay, we are installing. Okay, let's try to reload. Okay, wait a bit. That's unusual. Usually it takes a few seconds. Okay, one more time. Let's maybe close Google and open it again. Start sharing it. Share and okay. Now mixed up. Go to service demo. Sorry. Connect account, install, and download it for Chrome. Okay, one more time. If nothing's happened, we go to the Mozilla where I already have it, and just work there. Okay, installing. Okay, again. Okay, a second. Okay, let's go to the Mozilla because I already have here in this Robonomics share. Okay, this out up again. Go to the service, lights up, and let's take some account from. I already have here an account, but I will show you how to create new one. So after installing, you press add, create new account. Here you should save your seed phrase. I just will save it somewhere because it's a test and I don't need it actually, but okay. One more time, open the section in the new window, new account, seed phrase. Okay, I have saved my mnemonic, save free. Next step, better to choose Robonomics because we need exactly in Robonomics, the public address in Robonomics type. Okay, right, test 1 and some password. Okay, add account. So here we can find our account. Then we go here. Let's reload the page. And our account start with end with ZPJ. We go find here. We can check it with that it is exactly this name. Okay, so here we have our account. Next step is get the free IoT subscription for this demo. So for this, we need to copy our account address and ask a subscription in Telegram bot. The message, I already have the previous one when I test this demo. Okay, send the new one. Wait when the bot will answer. That already successfully added to the Robonomics subscription. Oh, you don't actually see the demo, but okay. I will show you my Telegram for now. So, okay, you see that I send the address and the bot answered that my address now in a subscription. So we return to the browser. Okay, now we can close this and reload the page. So now I have on this account the subscription, and let's choose. Okay, now we see the latest red, so I will color it to the green to see the difference. Now we need to wait IPFS node that is connected, because as I said, message with files with telemetry, so with launch functions, transfers through the IPFS system. Okay, submit transaction. Now again, in the question, do you see or it doesn't? Let me change that to the screen. Yeah, it's better. Now you should see that again. Extension asked me to sign the message because we encrypt and decrypt our message. Sign and wait a bit. Wait until our transaction get to the blockchain and Home Assistant will try to find and download a PDF file. Is our command. We wait. As I said, you can get this. You can try this by yourself. It's free. It's actually easy. So transaction is submitted, and now Home Assistant go to our account, read our launch command, and download IPFS. Find the IPFS hash in this launch and download file via this IPFS. Sometimes it take a while. Still, Web3 technologies is updating and working, and IPFS works sometimes slowly, but as you can see, our light changed to the green, the color to the green. We can play it several times with this, just change to the blue one and send the transaction again. Of course, you should sign it. And this should work. as I said, both of these two demos work full in Web3 technologies. Yes, sometimes it can take a while to download file from IPFS, but our internet tool not always was so fast as it now. Let's just wait a bit more and check. Can we change the light again? Mhm. And so this time it's take a bit more time, as I see. Okay, I think we will not wait anymore. Again, it should, and you already see that it's changed the color. Feel free to play it. And maybe the last thing which I want to show you is our wiki. We can delete it. Actually, really interesting. Robonomics wiki. Here you can find a lot of useful and interesting information about our use cases, our demos, and maybe our schools, because our Robonomics has its own schools and academy. I just want to show you that, for example, here in cases and Robonomics Smart Home, you can find the step-by-step instruction and also introduction, why we need and how to set up your own home assistant with Robonomics integration. But now I think that's all. I will show this again. And I am ready to answer to your question. I think you can write it in the chat or maybe ask.
Yes, guys, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box, or you can send them directly to Makar, or you can send them to me on the direct message.
Yes. Also, as I said, join our Discord channel too. There are a lot of communities from different countries for different languages. Every time you can ask help or share the ideas with us and with the community, and you're welcome.
So we have one question here by Vishwas. So
Yes,
Vishwas is
please.
asking, how is Robonomics adding value, and why should people be connecting their devices to the Robonomics network?
Adding quality. Could you please repeat, because
I think he wants to ask how Robonomics is adding value. Like,
okay, I see the message. Okay, as I said, you can connect our devices to the. If you talk about IoT, it's just the new idea, they're totally different from the what you now have in the world. It's used the Web3 and you have the all benefits from the Web3 opposite of the clouds. But if we talk in general about Robonomics network, I think you should connect or at least try our demos, because we are for 5 years working with the blockchain, with the robots, cyber physical systems, and we already made a lot of interesting and useful and I think easy to build things, and not to start from the beginning. You should use our knowledge and our time to save yours and build something more interesting and grateful on our platform.
All right. So another question that we have is the smart home infrastructure. What we just spoke about. So is is it true that in places where the connectivity is high, maybe the operators have good service? So is that a very essential part of building a smart home ecosystem?
Okay, we not build the entire home assistant ecosystem. We say we provide only the way how to connect your local home assistant or other smart home to the network. Yes, and work with them only with your private and public key without any clouds and something else. Yes, we work with Polkadot ecosystem in Polkadot ecosystem, but actually all transactions and all actions works in our private chain right now.
All right. Okay. So so we have one question about the LoRaWAN technology. So what would you say about the incorporation of LoRaWAN technology in the smart home systems?
With what? Could you repeat, please? Which technologies?
LoRaWAN. So it's the LP WAN, the low power wide area network.
LoRa? You mean
Yeah.
the LoRa protocols?
Right. It's a yeah, it's a network protocol.
Okay. Actually, as I know, it's a low-powered protocol to work with a big distance. So exactly in your home, I think you don't need them. No, I mean right now, I don't see the ideas. But I will show other example in our Robonomics network. We have the sensor connectivity service and map. And here, this is the map where we provide the sensors with air pollution and some information. And for example, this sensors you can put on the street. Yeah, as you can see here. As I know, this sensor just stay not in the home exactly, but like on the street. And here you can use LoRa to send data from these sensors to the nearest server with Robonomics blockchain system. Again, it's better to read because this is a big project and it took a lot of time to explain this project too. But in general, we have a sensor map, and they can talk with some service, connectivity service, who's again send this data to blockchain. And as a result, the usual people can check the air pollution in your city with PM10 or PM2 and 5. You can read here, what is it? It's a small sentence. So at least I know that we use LoRa here. Maybe you will create some interesting ideas where you can exactly use LoRa in smartphone.
Okay, so I think we'll take one last question here. This is from a beginner's perspective. This is more of a personal question for you. So they have been familiar with sensors before this, but in the course which they are offered, it is Raspberry Pi and Arduino. So do you think it is important for beginners to understand the basics of sensors and microcontrollers before they can go deep into smart home?
To what? To smart home.
Yes, to understand and build around the same technology.
Okay. I think yes, it's interesting experience. And for example, really me, I made some DIY sensors with Arduino and ESP and get the similar humidity and temperature samples as sold in the internet, Makar. So yes, Arduino, of course, because you can build your own DIY sensors and you can collect what really you maybe need or you want to find in your home. Not only temperature and humidity, for example. In our office, we measure the radiation, and you can create your own radiation sensor. With Raspberry Pi, of course, it's also important too, because as I said, the most useful and maybe the easiest way to install Home Assistant to the single board computer, and usually it's Raspberry Pi or Analog. So of course, you need some knowledge how to set up Raspberry Pi and Home Assistant on it.
All right, thank you for answering that. So we have a follow-up question from Vishwas. So with respect to IoT devices, how is it benefiting me? He means to ask, like without Robonomics, you can access devices using the phone. So how do we differentiate between the OEM giving us software and Robonomics? I think he means to differentiate between the OEM software and Robonomics.
I think I see this question. I maybe don't really understand what do you mean without Robonomics access to device from my phone. Again, if you talk about Home Assistant, yes, when you in home, in local network, you can access to your devices, your sensors without Robonomics. But in your home, you actually don't need to remote access. You're right, you can access exactly from phone. Robonomics we need when we go out from the home, because you lose the same network, you don't more in the same Wi-Fi, and you can't connect directly to your Home Assistant. And here you have two maybe three ways. The first one, use the usual clouds, as I said, as Porsche, AWS or others, and pay for the subscription there to create your digital twin or shadows. Second one, use our Robonomics system and buy the same subscription, or if you don't need the subscription, you can pay for every transaction fee. They're really small in Polkadot ecosystem. And as I said, and you have really a lot of knowledge. You can create your own public IP or your own remote control of Home Assistant, but it's really difficult and it's not user friendly.
I think that answers the
answer.
question. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's a wrap on the questions. I don't see any more questions coming in.
Okay.
All right. So, Makar, anything else you would like to add before we conclude today's workshop? Anything you would like to say to our audience?
I think no, I already say everything. Just try and build new interesting thing on Web3, and good luck in hackathon.
All right. So I think that's it from my side. So that was a very interesting session, though. That was a very valuable takeaway for our participants, as um, I could understand. And so I would thank you all for joining and making this workshop success. We are sharing knowledge here. It's fun sharing knowledge on this domain. So thank you so much, Makar, for being a part of this workshop, for having an interesting session with us. Thank you to the Robonomics team too. It wouldn't have been possible without you guys. And just before we sign off here, just a quick word. IBC Media is the biggest blockchain ecosystem initiative from India. So we have Polkadot as our headline sponsor, and we have major events on our agenda. Now, we have already spoken about hackathons, but we also have startup pitch competitions, there are DeFi competitions, and there are government-led conferences. So there's a lot going on. So registrations for IBC Hack 1, they are filling very fast. So make sure you hop on and you register before the slot runs out. So we promise a very exciting environment, top line mentors and judging panel. So the link is shared in the chat box. I will be sharing the link again with you guys over here. And make sure you register and you be a part of our community. We make knowledge sharing so much fun, as you just witnessed. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Do follow us on social media. Thank you, Makar, for being a part.
Yeah, goodbye.
Thank you. Right, so we do have the link here in the chat box.